15th. I've done this video before, but I have to remake it. It goes back to a day which is all captured in a series of videos which I posted on YouTube. They have to do with a day that was full of blood motifs, as well as real bleeding. If you see the video, you'll know what I mean. And when this all sort of transgressed through the afternoon. I had been speaking about getting blood splattering on a photocopy that was all black and white. And I never got any color. That's the only color I ever got, was this blotch of red that looked like a splatter of blood. And then next thing I know, I was spotting. So I had mentioned spotting. And next thing I know, I was spotting. In other words, it was the beginning of my period at the age of 53 and almost 54 now. And then I was talking, I did a video about all these, this blood, this subliminal messaging about blood, as well as real blood, like, menstruating and other stuff on like movies, all kinds of things. You got to watch the videos. I can't explain everything all over again. So that day, at the end of the day, one other important thing, then I was suddenly bitten by a mosquito. Attacked me, and I was suddenly bitten by a mosquito. I was sitting down the whole time, and somehow it had managed to get under my leg. I would think that I would squish it. I would have killed it. I don't know how it got under my leg, because I was sitting down the whole time, and I ended up with 4 huge bites just under my buttock. 4 huge bites, and I have a picture of that. I mentioned in the video. I do have a photo of that as well, but I can't. Apparently, you can't upload photos on YouTube. So at the end of the afternoon, I come into the washroom, and then all of a sudden. And this is what I mean about subliminal messaging coming through everything, through my kids, through everything. There was major blood in the toilet, and that wasn't for me. Even though my period, like I said, I started spotting in the morning after mentioning blood spotting and splatters of blood. After I'd mentioned that, then my period got a lot heavier. Then I come in here, and there was major blood in the toilet. And I believe that's from my son's nose bleeding, which tends to bleed at the weirdest times, at the most symbolic times, let's say. Then there was this. This, I had to take it off. There was a splatter of blood on the floor. Okay, this is the day of bleeding and blood motifs. And then there was this. And I also want to now connect that to all the other subliminal messaging about babies and pregnancy. Forget about my very sudden weight gain of 30 pounds in mid-2016. And apparently, according to my sisters, because I turned 50. Well, I didn't know that you suddenly gained 30 pounds in 1 month at the age when you turn 50. I haven't read the book. Apparently, she knows about a book. Of everything, the horrible things that happen to you the month you turn 50. So, yeah, in addition to gaining 30 pounds suddenly and having a belly, my body being changed forever, I mentioned, all the associated symptoms with that in my other videos. So in addition to that, there were, all the other pains and symptoms and very, very strange and abnormal symptom presentation, as well as it can all connected to that is the subliminal messaging about pregnancy and babies. And this is a little dark here. I'm going to make it light for you, but there was, as you can see, egg yolk everywhere. That's just one spot. Now, I don't know whether my son, I can't say my son is possessed because I don't believe that. But this is what he was doing everywhere, and he doesn't hear me. He doesn't hear me say this stuff. He doesn't understand this stuff. When he started this, he was like 9 years old, probably even younger. This egg yolk was everywhere, crushed eggs and egg yolk everywhere, and so much more as well, which I will put on in, I'll upload my videos on YouTube, so you'll see that. But that's just an example of the pregnancy imagery and motifs. And like I said, there were eggshells. I had to clean up so many eggshells everywhere, dried egg yolk, and I left that on purpose so that I could show that. So anyway, I just wanted to uh, do this video to show what happened after that afternoon of all blood imagery. Oh, and by the way, there was also vampire films on again. There's so many vampire films playing repeatedly and incessantly on my TV. And of course, that night there was a vampire film. I can't remember which one it was because I've seen so many. So another day of blood motifs and real bleeding. The period, by the way, lasted for about 3 days, and it was very heavy.